Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Market Outlook. Let's dive into what happened last week and what's coming up in the days ahead. Let's start with Japan. Its economy shrank for the first time in a year, down 0.7% in Q1. At the same time, a wave of foreign cash flooded into the Japanese assets in April, while US markets saw investors pulling back. Speaking of trade, there's been some action. China and the Trump administration struck a 90-day truce over the weekend in Switzerland. In response, China lifted export restrictions on 28 American companies, but it's still holding firm on blocking exports of 7 rare earth metals. In the US, inflation is cooling off a bit. April's consumer price index rose just 0.2% month over month, pushing the 12-month rate down to 2.3%, its slowest pace since February 2021. On the wholesale side, prices fell 0.5% in April, the sharpest drop since the COVID downturn. Annual PPI inflation eased to 2.4%, and March's number was quietly revised down to minus 0.4%. Now, this could be big. The US and Iran are possibly closing in on a nuclear deal. If it happens, oil supply could grow. Fed Chair Jerome Powell also said they're updating the Fed's policy playbook in response to shifts in inflation rates since 2020. Over in Europe, the Eurozone's Q1 GDP got revised down to 0.3%, while the UK did better, up 0.7% for the quarter, outpacing both the US and Europe. And in retail, Walmart's planning to bump up prices soon, just in time for summer. Let's check the top market movers from last week. Now, what to watch this week? On Monday, May 19th, China's April industrial production and retail sales are due. Both are expected to slow down. On Tuesday, May 20th, Australia's RBA interest rate decision, Canada's inflation numbers for April, and Japan's trade balance are all to be released. On Wednesday, May 21st, the UK inflation is to be released and it's expected to jump to 3.3%. On Thursday, May 22nd, it's Flash PMI Day. Watch out for numbers from Germany and the UK. Also, the US existing home sales data is due and Japan's April inflation rate is to be released. On Friday, May 23rd, UK retail sales for April are to be released and are forecasted to dip. Now some earnings to keep an eye on. That's the recap and the outlook. Stay sharp and until next week.